Welcome to Joy of Business Radio, hosted by Joy of Business facilitators from around the world, with special shows from Simone Milasas, the founder and creator of Joy of Business. Are you bored or dissatisfied with your work or business? Joy of Business is an invitation to a completely new way of creating. Did you know your business and job can actually be fun and joyful? If what you are currently doing isn't working for you, listen into this show full of pragmatic tools from Access Consciousness, which change everything in business, from money to finance, staff, creativity, productivity, communication, and beyond. Joy of Business Radio, weekly on OMTimes Radio.
Hello, everyone. I'm Smriti Goswami, and I'm a Joy of Business facilitator with Access Consciousness. And today I have an amazing guest, Laurence, who's from France. And we would be talking about benevolence in business beyond culture and gender. Welcome, Laurence.
Hi, Smriti. Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be here and to talk with you about business and benevolence for women and over beyond gender and beyond culture.
Awesome. So, Laurence, you're from France. What is the work culture in France in the workplaces there, and how does the gender affect there? As in the women in workplace, how is it for them in France?
Actually, there are a lot of balance between salaries for men and for women. And people talk about that more and more, and a lot of activities, a lot of decisions are started to be decided and to see what can be changed in that. And there was a study last month.
Yes.
Who said if we go on this with this new ideas around salaries for women and men, we will have still 200 years to have the same salary for men and for women. So what can we change here?
Yeah,
it's a big topic in France. And what about you in India, Smriti?
In India, actually, frankly, now things have become much better. But earlier there was major gender bias where it used to be really, really difficult for women in India to go out and work because of the typical mindset that is prevalent in the work culture, especially with respect to men, where they are the main people leading most of the time. So for them to accept orders from a woman leader in their workplace used to get really difficult. But now things are definitely changing. It's more people are educated, and they can sense and realize what is good for them, and they are making conscious changes. That is the amazing part here now. So. Yeah,
so
yes.
So benevolence is growing in business and at the workplace.
Definitely. In fact, the best way that we can add benevolence in business, in all these workplaces, is like maybe have a greater feeling of belongingness among the employees and greater inclusiveness, and maybe have a free flow of ideas or like a variety of enriching perspectives or which will create more enhanced productivity. So yeah, this is what if the leaders in those workplaces, if they set the rule or they set the rules for the culture to follow. So if they have an enhanced or they respect women and they treat them as equal, and when they they are all inclusive, then that sets the ball rolling for the rest of the employees to follow suit. So that's, yes,
Right.
that's one of the ways we can, that's one of the ways that we can incorporate benevolence in business here.
Yeah. And yes, I think it's quite the same in France. People want to work together and get more involved and are aware of the importance of that everybody can feel good at work and in business, and this is a big topic to be able to talk about that, and more and more people are aware and agree, and they agree to talk about that and to think about that and find some solution.
So, Laurence, I realized long back, like I realized most women, for them, when they are it's a difficult decision for them to take when they are working, and especially when they are married and they have kids, and then they have extra additional responsibilities, and especially in India, because they are the sole people who take care of their kids, and they have the sole responsibility of their own house. So it gets increasingly difficult for them to start moving out and to even take that step to leave the kids behind and, start joining work. It's not that easy for them. But of late, I've noticed quite a few people who are taking these bold steps. And in fact, I would like to talk about a friend who is a pilot in an international airline in India. And with her, it used to be really, really difficult for her to travel and leave her kids behind. Even her husband has a traveling job. So it used to be, she had to leave the kids behind with a caretaker. But hats off to her, because the way she would handle everything, she had a tie-up with all the shopkeepers, and the chemist and the grocery guy and everyone and all she used to do is call up those guys, and the medicines used to be delivered at home. The grocery used to get delivered at home, if all the while when she was out of station. So say, for example, if she's in Singapore and her family is here in Mumbai, so she would handle everything. Even if there was a medical emergency, she would manage that also. She would call up the doctor and ask him for his advice and the medicine to give to the child, and everything was taken care of. So the other day when she was telling me all about it, and I was like, wow, that is an amazing balance, work and life balance that she's created for herself. And I know it's not that easy, but she did well. In fact, she also used to go to a different station whenever she was traveling, and she would connect with her kids via Skype or FaceTime, and she would actually make sure that they do their homework while she was connected with them in a hotel room from some other city. So that's the level and the courage that the women have to make sure that they get the best of both the worlds. So,
it's a huge responsibility to take care of children when you are traveling or when you are abroad, and women need to be very organized, like your friend, as you said, to manage everything, to take care of the children, or to have people taking care of them, even the doctor, or at school, or in the evening at home. So yes, it requires a lot of organization. I mean, everything.
Absolutely. And one very important thing, Laurence, we should not forget that have the courage to step up, go out, go for work, choose all that you want to do, have fun also simultaneously. Don't give up on yourself just because you're married or just because you have kids. Just step up. Choose everything. You can do everything if you put your mind to it. And just find a good work-life balance, and it can be done. So yeah, that's the best part.
Yes.
Have the courage to follow your dreams, no matter what.
Women don't have to diminish themselves, and they can choose as well things that they want to do. And regarding organization or finding people who could take care of children or who could take care of the house, for example, they can find somebody else. And for them, it's easier to go to work, to go to and travel and have fun with what they are doing and with what they are choosing. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. And I think things are changing now regarding what women can do and what they allow themselves to do.
Yes. So, in fact, all those women who hold back and who look for reasons why they cannot create all that they want to, when they look, when they try to look for, give excuses for all that and try to justify why they're not choosing what they can. Maybe this particular question would help them. What limiting beliefs do you function from in life that are creating your reality? And how many reference points do you have which are holding you back? So maybe asking these questions would sort of get them to a point where they start thinking that maybe, is it really these are the reasons and justifications that they're using to hold themselves back, or how else can they change it? What can you do to change it? So instead of looking at anything to hold you back, ask, what can I do today to change this? What else is possible? And things start shifting and changing, and a lot of pathways start opening up for you to start choosing.
Yes, and there is another point regarding that. Often women choose their life like their mother did. So maybe just have a look at that and be aware that women can choose something different. It's not because their mother did something, had a certain life, that they need to have the same. They can choose for themselves, and it's very important to be aware of that and to have their own choices for them.
We'll just take a short break, and I'll catch you after the break. Thank you.
No one needs to have a money problem, especially you.
Yeah, did you hear that? You have an unlimited and mostly unaccessed capacity to create money and a financial reality that works for you. Simone Milasas has a brand new book. It's called Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. And right now, when you go to gettingoutofdebtjoyfully.com, if you pre-order the book, you'll get a free online course. What if you can create money in ways no one else can? Just go to gettingoutofdebtjoyfully.com to get your copy today.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Aloha, my name is Jennifer O'Neill, and I'd like to invite you to come join me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time for my show, Spirit Chat. Spirit Chat focuses on simplifying the process of using the spiritual tools and gifts you were born with in a way that fits into your everyday life. I also teach different techniques that will help you learn how to navigate the spirit realm and empower you on your own spiritual journey. So join me this Wednesday as I guide you through the spirit world.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Hello and welcome back. Yes, Laurence, you were telling us something about women choosing, increasingly they're choosing career options that their own mothers chose for themselves, and how, whether it's a contribution to them or whether they can choose something different.
Yes, and regarding that, maybe women can ask questions for themselves, and questions like what can I choose for my life, and not regarding what other people could choose for me or could advise me to do, but instead of that, just choosing for themselves and see what they could have or what they could do for themselves. And even if they are married, even if they have children, and even if they have a big family, it's very important to carry on choosing for themselves. So
Totally.
Yeah. So I think in India you can say the same thing, I suppose.
Oh yes, totally. I mean,
Yes.
there are a few questions that I can suggest that they can ask themselves if they are feeling stuck or something. Maybe they can start with the question that, okay, is this the life that I'd like to have? Or am I creating my life as if I do not have any choice in it? Because a lot of times most women, especially in India, they think they don't have the choice to choose anything different. That now that they're married and they have kids and that's all that is required for them to do. So most people have that. You don't stop living your life. Having said that, there are women who still would just want to be there with the kids and are very happy doing that. So this is not the space where we are judging them. We are realizing that, okay, cool, this is the choice they're making, and you honor that. And they are enjoying life too. So it's not from that space. But for those people who, especially those women who feel stuck and they feel they don't really have a choice, these are the questions they can ask. Okay, so what choices am I making to limit my expansion, or am I even being willing for my own creations? Because usually they are just told that, okay, fine, now you're married, you have to be at home. They're not really given a choice. But instead of just listening to what others are saying, what holds true for them, and what would they like to create in their life? And once they start asking these questions, they start getting an awareness of how to choose a different path for themselves.
Yeah. And they can. It's important to allow themselves to have their own choices, and ask a question like, if I have total choice, what would I choose? And go with that and see what could happen on what they could choose for themselves, and maybe it's something completely different regarding what they are doing right now. And as you said, it's not a judgment. It's just about choosing what they would like to do, and no matter what it is. Yeah.
Oh yes, totally. Usually, you've noticed that most of the time there's a defined role that they are supposed to fit into, or they're supposed to fit into a box, which has already been pre-decided for them, that okay, this is what they're allowed to do and this is what they can do, and without instigating anyone else, and they're supposed to just fit into that box. And how uncomfortable is that? I mean, it's not even fun. Who would like to be fit into a box and not being allowed to give that freedom? So do you realize when you define roles, or anything that you define, or anything that you make significant, what happens is you're limiting it. Especially if you're defining something, definition by itself is a limitation or limiting you. And anything that you make significant, especially like if it's choosing to work, if the other family members make it very, very significant that that's the wrong choice that the lady of the house is making, it gets really difficult. And if you make it so significant, what happens is you end up solidifying it or making it solid. Have you seen the wall? Do you think the molecules in the wall move? Yeah, they appear solid, but they're actually not that solid. The molecules in the wall are moving. So similarly, anything that you make solid, there's very less chance to create a change in that. So yeah, we have to realize that we don't have to make anything significant or solid, and how we can change it around, change the molecules to move and be more malleable and work around that. Oh, and I have a very interesting question for this that they can ask. It's, what would happen if I was out of definition, out of form, structure, and significance in creating my fabulous, unbelievable, and wealthy life? That would be a cool question for them to ask.
Yes, it's a great one. Yeah. And regarding workplace, for example, we are talking about gender, and we also are talking about culture. And there is maybe some we need to adapt at work, for example, when we are a woman, and also when we work with other women or with men or with people from another culture. And then benevolence in this case is also very important to be able to adapt and to see what could be more comfortable for the people and for ourselves at the workplace when we have to deal with different kind of people. And for women, it's the case in a stronger way, as they have some stuff to do at home in certain culture or in with the family habit, and they have to deal with homework, one can say, and working with other kind of people. And what kind of advice could we tell them regarding workplace and working with other people? They have to adapt. They have to be equivalent to other people, not to diminish themselves, for example.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And when they are sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
Yeah, about the. For example, if you are in a meeting, don't be afraid to have your voice. in the meeting, in the company where you live, where you work, and it's important as well to share your experience or to share your ideas with your colleagues, with your manager, and it's another way to have a part and to choose your life when you are at work and or in your business. And what question could we ask in this place?
Yeah, so this is what makes your business unique, and basically the things that make your business unique in workplaces and with culture is the sum of its values and traditions and beliefs and interactions and the behaviors that they have, and a positive workplace culture, especially with respect to where it does not have any gender bias. It creates much more, it impacts the happiness and it drives engagement and affects the overall performance of a company. So yeah, especially the leaders of the company, when they take charge and they are choosing more from the space of benevolence with respect to the women in the workplace as well as the men, and they are very, very inclusive in all their decisions, whether it is choosing a woman leader or whether it is giving an opportunity to a woman leader and not just restricting it to men. There is more that gets created in their business that way. And we all know that women bring a lot of talent and a lot of creativity in their business, in their work. So yes, and in fact, it's amazing how they balance everything, including home as well as the office, and excel in everything too. Yeah. So you had asked me what question can we ask, right?
Yes. What kind of advice could we give to these women who are at their office, who are in their business and are working with men and with people from other cultures? So how to find their place there without diminishing themselves, if they want to value themselves and help them choosing more for them as well.
Yes, Laurence, we'll continue after the break.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Tune in to the Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Putting the fun back in business. Wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, go to bed, repeat. Business, work, your job, hate it, bored, want to leave it? Or business, work, your job, fun, play, joy, fun. Which would you like to choose? You may not know this, but business, your job, work can actually be fun. Shake up your business routine. Check out my 3-part free video series on putting the fun back in business. Go to accessjoybusiness.com/fun and put the fun back in business.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello and welcome back. Yes, Laurence, you were asking a question.
Yes, regarding women at work, at their office, working with men, working with people from other cultures, and finding their place, having their voice in their business, and making their own choices for their life. So, what question can we suggest for this woman to carry on, to have a greater life, what
so one thing that they can ask
for them? Yeah.
So a question that a good question that they can start asking themselves is, what if I was truly creating my life? What would I choose for myself right now? And when they sense a sort of limitation somewhere in the workspace, and they feel that they have to deal with outdated ideas and a different way of thinking of those people and how to deal with them, you can ask another question. So, okay, what extent am I in my business operating according to all these outmoded or outdated practices, and how can I have ease with this? The first thing most people do when they are perceiving any sort of threat, or they feel they're going to be hurt, or in other ways, or they feel that somebody is going to say something to them, the first thing most women and others also, even men, what they do is they set up barriers or these imaginary walls that they put up. And the first thing is to lower the imaginary wall, remove that from their space, and then be willing to listen to them without any judgment, without giving it much thought. Just relax and just listen and let whatever they are saying, just perceive that. And and then ask, okay, what are the reference points that I'm using to hold myself back? And if I was, what is the one thing that I can do to create a change with this, or change the situation totally easily?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And ask, okay, so is this the life that I'm looking to create? And what will it take to have ease with this?
Yeah. And
so we all know by now that the reason we are asking so many questions time and again in this show is every time you feel stuck, asking questions gets you out of those stuck situations where you start getting an awareness of how else can you create changes. You don't get any answers, but you just start getting an awareness of how to deal with that situation a little differently. Yes, Laurence, you were saying something?
Yes, asking question helps you to get more clarity about what you are experiencing at the moment. You take a moment, you take a breath, and get more clarity of what you could choose. And you can also ask, if I had total choice, what could I choose? And then stop limiting yourself in your life, in your business, at work, and just get this awareness about what is possible for you without limiting you. And this way you can open different spaces, different possibilities for you, and with more clarity you can maybe choose to start something new, or to start something different, to add something to your life, and then have more fun in it, with your life and in your business and in your company or at work, and in your family as well.
Cool. So I realized one thing, that when you make up your mind to do something and you start choosing that, no matter what it takes, that I'm going to be it, I'm going to do it, when you make a demand, the demand usually is of yourself. You're making the demand of yourself, and you're asking the universe to contribute and say, what will it take for me to be that and be able to create this and to be able to receive this, and you just go all out. What I'm trying to say is, the moment you make a choice to choose something for yourself, everything, the entire universe conspires to make it happen to you. So don't ever give up on your dreams because someone couldn't handle it, or because others cannot see you creating that. Just keep choosing for yourself. And I'll give you an example. So I wanted to be a pilot, and I got married, and after having 2 kids, I chose flying, and it wasn't an easy path to take initially. But everybody, once I made up my mind, everybody from my family, everybody helped me to just go ahead, and they created such a huge amount of ease for me to just be able to go ahead and go forth and achieve the dreams that I wanted to. So just realize that when you make up your mind, nothing can stop you. You just have to just go all out for it. And same thing in workplace. When you choose to achieve certain things, when you choose to achieve milestones in your business or in your workspace, no matter what it is, just go for it, and ask, okay, what can I be and do that will take that, so that I can include everyone in my decisions and take them all along with me instead of excluding people. So yeah, that's the first thing that you have to keep in mind, is to include everyone and not just sort of sideline people because they can't see you creating. Just be there with them, be present with what they are looking for, and how can you work things around that. So that creates a lot of ease in that workspace.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's not about fighting against other people who work with you. It's engaging everybody around you to achieve goals, to achieve objectives, and to keep growing in the business, to keep growing the company, and that's being with everybody around you and going in the same direction for the business or for the company.
Yes. So usually, yeah. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So
about fighting, it was I had this idea about judgment. It's not about judging you of what you are doing, of what you are not doing. It's about getting rid of judgment and have your own choices and your own ideas, and have trust in you, and then go ahead and carry on and showing people that you have your own choices and you are able to make your own choices. That's a great topic as well.
Absolutely. In fact, the main thing is what you just said, Laurence. Believe in yourself, and trusting yourself is the main thing. The moment you have that faith in your capabilities and you trust yourself, there's no stopping you. You can just go out and create anything. And one very important thing, that I realized is that choosing something for you does not mean that you have to choose against anyone else. How can you just keep choosing for yourself each time without really compromising on anyone else's choices or without stepping on anyone else? So yeah, you don't have to pull down someone else to choose more for yourself. Just keep choosing. So yeah. So another, this is one of the things that you can include in a benevolent workplace or benevolent business. One first thing is strong leadership, where the leaders can easily set the pace of the entire business and business setup and for the employees so that they can follow through. And they can, of course, work on the rest of the things, the customer service and sales and role playing, which usually it all shows up along with the business. These are part and parcel of the business. Very important is empowering your employees to start choosing more for themselves. You don't limit your employees based on their qualifications or the skill sets that they have. Maybe you can start asking them, okay, recognize what their talents are and maybe offer them the job accordingly. Or recognize that today this person is working, say, for example, as a graphic designer, but maybe that's not so much fun for that person. And maybe that person is a people's person and would like to be in the front office and dealing with clients, would maybe prefer marketing instead. So be willing to offer them that kind of a job so that they can just choose also. So empowering your employees is, again, one of the very important aspects of benevolence in business that you can create.
Yeah.
Especially empowering your women employees.
Yeah. It's benevolence with other people, and it's benevolence regarding yourself as well.
Yes,
to achieve things and benevolence in with people at work doesn't mean you have to do everything and that you don't have to take care of objectives, to reach objectives and goals and budget and no, it's managing all of that in a different way as usual, a different way as other people or other company do. You can have your own way.
We'll start again after the break, Laurence.
Yes.
What do you hate about business? And do you want to change it? If you don't want to change anything about your job or business, stop listening. You're all good. If you'd like to have money just for the fun of it and stop the negative self-talk, check out Joy of Business. This is about knowing what you know about business and creating more than you can imagine. Access Joy of Business 101 classes offered around the world. Go to accessjoyofbusiness.com/101.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Hello, I'm Lisa Berry. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for Light on Living, a chance to see new, hear different, and feel more as I shine the spotlight on all the ways to lighten the load of life's challenges. Light on Living is your link to that new way you're looking for, that new understanding that will enhance your life, and that positive connection that will support your growth. So join me, and you'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you.
Your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello and welcome back.
Yeah.
Yes. Laurence, what were you saying before we took the ad break? You were talking about something.
Yes, about being benevolent with other people at work or at home or in your business, and also be benevolent with yourself. And it's very important.
That's important.
Yeah. And yes, it's important to have some goals, some objectives in life, and it's important too to be to take care of yourself, to be benevolent with yourself, to take care of you every day, at every moment. And
yes,
I also,
absolutely. We are.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
And I wanted to talk about women at work and about managing people and managing for a woman to manage men or people from other culture. So it can be a challenge as well. And regarding benevolence in business and at work, it could be strange at the beginning to see a woman managing men, and at the same time, what would it take for this woman to add some benevolence in her kind of management and be recognized for her leadership, be recognized for her skills, her knowledge, and her capacity to manage people and to lead to objectives and with benevolence, and at the same time with regarding the how the team feels, and at the same time regarding taking care of people when they work and when they have to achieve some goals and some objectives. So what question could we suggest to these women who are in this case and who have to manage other people?
Yeah, you can actually you can ask for ease with that. That's the first thing you ask for. What will it take for me to have ease with dealing with this, for creating whatever it is that I desire to create in this workplace with my employees, and especially if you are being the leader and you are leading the team, it is quite a daunting task, definitely, because especially when you're working and dealing with men from different cultures, and they have a different way of thinking, and how you have to get them to get to work, and without letting their egos get in the way, how you can have just total ease with that. First thing you ask is, what will it take for me to have ease with this? And and frankly, being at times we stop ourselves because of other people's judgments, and how to be able to deal with that, like just be willing to receive those judgments. it's okay if they're judging you. That does not mean that they're defining you. And choose to outcreate that and look beyond that. So instead of reflecting on how others are judging you, choose to be the leader. Choose to be willing to create the changes with everyone around. Be willing to be present with what they want and what they're asking for, with their need. Sit with them, spend time, talk to them, get to know them better, and realize where they're functioning from. If they're making a demand for certain things, what's going on with them, and why are they behaving in a particular way? And trying to know them better will create more ease.
Yes, exactly.
Now, having said that, we have been concentrating a lot on women, but the thing is, this at no time is to exclude men, and from recognizing what a wonderful contribution that they are also to our lives, and how we can work together instead of excluding them and just only, speaking of course, no doubt, the reason we were talking about women was because of the gender bias that most women face. But having said that, how do we recognize the contribution that the men are and start acknowledging for the contribution that they're being also, and how we can have a more inclusive environment and with respect to everything, whether it is equal pay or equal salary or equal work assignments and leadership roles that they can get.
Yes, it's important to work together and to be a contribution for each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would you like to speak something about something that most people face in their workspace is a lot of judgments and a lot of competition. Would you like to speak something about that, Laurence?
About competition at work?
Yeah, how to deal with excessive competition and jealousy and judgments. How does one deal with that?
Yeah. First of all, is to make choices for myself or for each other, not taking care of judgment from others, and this way you can live and choose by yourself and not by your own, without creating your life with people's judgment. I don't find the word. If you say, "Oh, I can't do that because people will say that," so "Oh no, I can't choose that." If you create your life this way, it's not your life. It's a small life, and what would it take for you to have your own choices, to make your own choices, and have the life you would like to have at work?
Absolutely. In fact,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, how often do most people stop choosing for themselves based on that now that they're being judged and that other people might not like it if they choose something for themselves, and they end up stopping themselves. They get concerned with what others are going to think about them, and it's like they get overly concerned by other people's points of view without realizing that, you know what, if someone is judging you, that's their problem. It's got nothing to do with you. In fact, if they're judging you, at times they would like to choose what you're choosing, and they're not able to. So, they end up stopping.
Yeah, and maybe it's admiration. Maybe you think they are judging you, and in fact they admire you because they are not able to do the same. And
mostly people judge you when they want to create what you are creating, and they're not willing to choose that for themselves.
Yes.
So yeah, that's when they start judging you. And actually, have you even noticed that, when you are, when you're facing competition and people are becoming increasingly competitive with you, it is somewhere, take it as a compliment, because they are letting you know that, hey, you know what, you're better than us and we'll try and outcreate you. But you just keep choosing for yourself, keep outcreating them, just keep choosing and don't give up at all. So yeah, don't let yourself be stopped by what they are saying or what other people are talking about behind your back. People only talk about someone if they admire them, like you said it.
Yeah. And by doing that, you get more benevolence for you and for other people. If you are able to see that when you get judged by regarding what you are doing, and so it's funny to to become aware of that, and it's more light in your life when you become aware of that. And then what could you choose for yourself when you are aware of that? You have all the choices for you.
Absolutely.
If you anything.
Yes, if you were not stopping for anything, if you were not letting these judgments affect you, what would you choose for yourself? What could you still create beyond these judgments, beyond all the competition, and still create and choose more for you? Yep, that's there. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Smithy. It was great.
Thank you, Laurence.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.